Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The Dharma, infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in a million kalpas. Now we are able to hear, study, and follow it. May we fully realize the Tathagata's true meaning. We continue to learn about the 12 links of interdependence. Previously, Shifu have explained in detail how the 12 links relate to the past life, present life, and future life. We also talked about how it relates to the twofold cause and effect. We also talked about the 3 parts of karma process: affliction, action, and effects. Now we will take a different perspective of the 12 links. The perspective is what Shifu calls the thought moment perspective, or the momentary or the thought perspective of the 12 links. As you understand the 12 links, we talk about the past life, present life, future life. But it doesn't have to, we don't have to think of it that way. We can think of the 12 links as happening in my life, in this present life. Even in today, within today, even within this hour, these moments, the 12 links have been cycling. Because what the 12 links is about is a more detailed analysis of how causes lead to actions and lead to effects. So let's study the thought moment perspective of 12 links of interdependence. First of all, a terminology: 3 times. 3 times is past, present, and future. Now you can understand the 3 times as referring to past life, present life, future life. More accurately, it refers to all past lifetimes is the past. This lifetime is the present, and all future lifetimes, that's the future. But we can also look at the 3 times as the present is the present moment, and past is everything before the present moment, and future is everything that happens after this present moment. So the past time is not necessarily past life, but just a moment ago, up to the infinite past. That all of that is past time. Okay, so we can look at lifetimes when we talk about the 12 links, but we also can look at moments, past, present, future moments, when we study the 12 links. So previously, in previous 2 talks, Shifu have explained 12 links in terms of the lifetimes, and that is what we call in Buddhism fragmentary samsara, or fragmentary birth and death, or delimited birth and death. Fragmentary samsara refers to how we are born from the womb, if you're human, and then you live, and then you die, and then you get reborn. So one such lifetime is a fragment. And we have fragments and fragments, or sections and sections and sections of lifetimes. Endlessly, that's the fragmentary samsara. That's what we ordinarily look at life, fragmentary. Okay? We look at this life, and then we can talk about past life and future life. But we can also look at birth and death as happening each moment. So that is called transformational samsara, or momentary birth and death. We think of each moment as a cycle of birth and death. Indeed, that is true. Each moment, my flesh, my physical body, and my thoughts exist for a moment. And the next moment, my thoughts have changed. And my body, every cell in my body, every atom in my body have changed, even though the changes are very minuscule, but still they change. So that's transformational samsara, or momentary birth and death. Now, this is important because every moment changes occur. For the ordinary person, changes occur and occur and occur and occur, and we are mostly unaware of it. So we repeat the same mistakes, we repeat the same reactions to our feelings, and again and again and again, and that results in fragmentary samsara. It results lifetime after lifetime after lifetime without much difference. Yeah, maybe you're a man this lifetime, you're a woman next lifetime, and then you're a dog next lifetime, and then you become another human being again in the next lifetime. Why? That's because you are unaware of the momentary possibilities. How transformation can take place each moment. So it's useful to look at the 12 links from this perspective. I think the best way to explain this transformational perspective or momentary perspective is to look at examples. So let's take 2 examples. First example, being criticized. So the 12 links are ignorance, intentional action, and so on. Let's look at ignorance. Ignorance means we are unaware of our own actions and effects. Our thoughts come from ignorance instead of awakened perspective. Yeah? So our mind is usually in a state of ignorance. Right? So that's the first. At this moment, my mind is in a state of ignorance instead of mindfulness. And then action, intentional action. I think and I speak what I want. That's my habit. My past habit is such that I think and speak what I want, and I feel justified. All right? Okay? So my consciousness then, the state of my mind, my conscious mind, is a result of our past actions, yeah, past ignorance. So now I have a consciousness of, say, I'm a pretty good person. Nobody should insult me. Some people are really mean. You know, that kind of conscious mind in the background. Right? My mind and my body tend to react to my mental state. Let's say if I'm really upset, right, I get agitated. My body is shaking a little bit. So that's also a result of past karma, past actions. All right, so now 6 senses. I have the eyes, ears, nose right now, right? And I see a coworker. So this is happening. You know, he comes into my eyesight and I see a coworker. And I have contact with him. He says something to me. Say he criticized my work. And that brings up a feeling. Number 7, right? Feeling. My feeling is unpleasant. I feel insulted. I feel upset. So immediately, at this moment, that's my feeling. And accordingly, my body, I may breathe heavily, my body may be a little bit agitated, okay? So now, number 8, craving. My mind reacts to that feeling of being insulted with anger. So I have anger, and by habit, I want to retaliate. I want to say something mean to him too. Right? So grasping, my mind is going through, I need to say something. I need to say something to be equally hurtful. Because you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. And number 10, being. Being is I say things to the effect of rejecting my coworker's criticism of me. And what's more, I may even insult him. Who do you think you are to criticize my work? Right? So that's my action, my verbal action comes into being. And then that leads to future effects. The future effects is starting with the next moment. As soon as I say these things, as soon as I insult him back, then next moment, the results happen. What are the results? What comes into birth? An atmosphere of conflict and resentment at workplace. That comes into being, that is born, that takes place. It doesn't happen next lifetime, it happens this next moment. And as this effect carries on into the next moments, my mood is ruined. And that mood, that lousy mood, shadows my whole day. So this is a momentary or transformational perspective of the 12 links. This 12 links happens in a few moments. Yeah? You can see how this is perfectly valid and according to the law of causality. Okay? So the 12 links happens many, many times throughout the day. Let's look at the second example. The second example, craving for a cake, say. So ignorance is, chocolate cake is yummy. That may be the ignorance. And then so there's a cake in front of you. My mind is in a state of ignorance. That's yummy. So in intentional action, I must have a piece. However, this has not turned into actions yet, but I will turn it into action because of my past frame of mind, my past habitual thinking. My consciousness state is such that cake is good food. Who cares what those health experts say? That's my consciousness, right? Mind and form, I'm ready to take action. My hand will follow my mind. 6 senses, I keep looking at the cake, and the more I look at it, the more yummy it looks. Contact, reach out, I take it. I take a piece, put it in my mouth, I chew on it. That's the contact. And the feeling I get, yum, this is really good. I like it. Pleasant feeling. So, craving. Next moment, the craving happens. The craving, I want another piece. I just finished the piece, I want another piece. That's craving. Grasping, hey, when nobody's looking, I'm going to take another piece. I don't want to appear to be greedy, right? So when nobody's around, I take another piece. And another piece. So I went up eating 3 pieces. So that's being. Karma is being created. And then that leads to effects in the future. In the future moments, next moment. The next moment, as soon as the food is inside, then extra fat, extra sugar, which your body doesn't need right now, a dozen of unpronounceable chemical additives, which is in these commercial cakes, and so on, goes inside your body. That is the birth. the birth of these changing conditions in your body. And as this effect goes on through the next moments or minutes or hours, what happens is that I end up with more liver fat than I needed, which can cause all kinds of health problems. I mentally may regret it later. Yeah, it was enjoyable, but then later on I regret it. Yet I am indecisive. Should I take even more piece, which is pleasurable, or should I exercise instead? I decide I will take another piece. I will exercise tomorrow. So this whole thing takes place. So the cycle repeats. The cycle repeats. The whole thing takes place in a few moments. The aging and death, the 12th link in this case, is how this effect is being carried out, right? And that leads to the repeat of the cycle. Number one, ignorance, more ignorance, more ignorance. Now, if I do this day after day after day after day after day, then what's going to happen? My health will be ruined, right? Okay, so these are two examples of transformational 12 links of interdependence. Of course, both of these are negative examples. Can we have positive examples? Yes, we can have positive examples. So that is the next part. We'll talk about how understanding the 12 links can lead to liberation. How do we practice? How do we do our spiritual cultivation with the understanding of these 12 links? Let us review what we talked about. Shifu introduced the two types of birth and death, or samsara, which is fragmentary samsara, meaning that we are born in the womb, we take a birth, and then we live so many days or years, and then we die, and then we get reborn into any one of the 6 realms, and we repeat and repeat as fragmentary samsara. But we can also look at birth and death at a momentary scale, which is every moment is a birth and death. So the repeating of these moments is the transformational samsara, or momentary birth and death, which take place moment after moment after moment. And from this momentary perspective, we can examine how 12 links take place so many times every day. So now, with both the fragmentary and the transformational perspective of 12 links, we are ready next to see how we can do our Buddhist cultivation to attain liberation, to break out of this trap. Let us make the dedication. May the merits of our deeds reach every part of the world. Sentient beings, large and small, all attain enlightenment.